Potential trailer leaks and Chapter 4 release details had been circulating beforehand. So starting from what we've been told about the first trailer, turns out there's this weird video going around claiming to include real audio from parts of the trailer from earlier stages of development. As we already know, it's confirmed that Mob Entertainment has made significant backstage progress in getting us these teasers and trailers as quickly as possible, and the post itself was titled Poppy Playtime Chapter 4 Teaser Trailer Audio Leaked, actually giving us the same early leaks as all the other leaks that have recently become a huge problem for Mob Entertainment. See, a very similar sound was initially discovered as an early leak for the previous franchise trailer, which was released quite recently. This meant that the company had already dealt with this specific early sound leak before, but in this latest case, it turned out the leak was confirmed as real, which means we still need to figure out what's really going on with this sound from Chapter 4, and if so, does it actually hold some truth? Also, addressing the audio attached to the message, we can make out strange, almost robotic sounds, indicating that everything we're dealing with here has been distorted or muted. We also know that in the case of the previous sound leak, we heard the same strange, muted effect associated with the sound, as it was originally part of an early YouTuber reaction to the trailer. Only some fragments were initially fully restored before the video was altered to remove the sound. It obviously wasn't supposed to be released yet, but in terms of the bigger question with this alleged leak, before moving on to other trailer news and trailer release information, this trailer audio post is a fake. It turns out we need to know the fact that it was proven that Mob Entertainment announces the trailer release and actually sends out ready early versions of the trailer to their partners and members of the criminal community before sound leaks become possible. While the planning process for Chapter 4 started as early as late July, and we were told they simply couldn't manage to do so much work in terms of creating a whole teaser video. But it turns out we also received more official information from the company's CEO about what we should actually expect from both the trailer and the full Chapter 4 game. He started by referencing his plans for Poppy Playtime after Chapter 3, and then transitioned to what we're also expecting from the trailer video. It's a funny task. We've got the whole story planned out for the future, so we know where the story will unfold in the next games. It's interesting to see what fans speculate about in contrast to the surprises we've already planned. To go even further, we'll be able to piece together exactly those surprises they've supposedly already planned. You see, this official statement actually aligns with what we were told behind the scenes by one of the creators of Poppy Playtime. This is how we begin to understand what leads to our first surprises. On the official Discord server where we play with Poppy, we're told that we already know some good moments from Chapter 4 that people will go crazy about. I didn't go into big surprises as specific moments planned in Chapter 4's story, but went even further. The company's CEO also confirmed that given the vision developers have set for our future Poppy Playtime games, we should specifically expect big twists to be those same moments planned by the developers. What we saw in Chapter 3 with the attack on Kissy Missy, as it was also a specific moment highlighted by developers as an Easter egg thrown into the game, these twists are likely to get even crazier, leading into the fourth chapter, to which everything leads, down to additional trailer information. Initially, it was found that the company's CEO first addressed this particular situation, informing us that there were currently no teasers we should expect, but also that we should expect something new after his words, because at the moment it's added right at the end. Mob Entertainment simply had to finalize the planning stage for these early teasers and trailers, which were actually hinted at by the CEO at an early stage in development and business. There are more issues causing a growth in the number of development team members working primarily on trailers and teasers. Continuing to create a more extensive production really enhances our game and the skills of each team member and makes us a stronger studio for future projects. Clearly, with respect to this next big chapter, which we are now awaiting updates for, and from the perspective of these very updates, when we finally should be expecting the next trailer for the future project of Poppy Playtime, we actually know more than you think. Taking into account the dates of trailers we've seen in previous Poppy Playtime games, it turns out there's a certain pattern that's begun to emerge, which is likely to also indicate the release date of the first official Chapter 4 trailer. we need to take into account the fact that with the very first teaser trailer of the last game released by Mob Entertainment, it finally launched on August 6th, giving us an approximate estimate. It's about 3 months after the game before it actually came out, and it turns out that the Mafia also used the same 3-month rule for their other game, released alongside the official chapters of Poppy Play. So, the very first teaser trailer for the Game Time project also appeared just over 3 months after the release of the first Chapter 3 trailer. And although a pattern really began to emerge here, pushing us in the right direction in terms of the trailer release date, we still have to consider what the CEO of Mob Entertainment recently told us, the fact that despite the idea that we won't get anything at the moment, the actual team working on the first Chapter 4 teaser trailer was bigger than in the past. We've already learned about some key team members who provided us with the trailer, updates occasionally, but compared to where Mob Entertainment was a year ago, they've definitely made some improvements that will allow the next expected trailer to come out a little earlier than the 3-month template we're used to seeing, while we probably won't get any official confirmations from Mob Entertainment for some time. I would say, based on what we've been told, we can officially expect to see the trailer for the next game in about 2 months, not 3, but despite the waiting time, it turns out we've already been informed about the most important aspects of Chapter 4 in advance. In particular, about the real characters, new to the franchise, that some game creators have already told us about and teased what we could potentially look for in the game. Although we've been told to expect the possibility of concepts from previous chapters returning in Chapter 4, especially beyond this list, there are many additional characters we have more information about than ever before. About monsters like Boxy and Brawn, which have remained a mystery throughout the entire Poppy Playtime game, and it all comes together in this 4th game to give us something new for the franchise, something many fans don't expect. So I can put it all together for us about these official characters throughout the entire next chapter. With everything we know about Chapter 4, I believe the plot will unfold immediately as I describe it. We'll start by stepping into an elevator to see Kissy Missy, but the elevator will take us to witnessing her being dragged into a strange place by a large claw. I think we'll follow Kissy in an intense chase scene. The innovation station will consist of multiple levels and represent a large production area with sectors including toy processing, toy repair, toy storage, and toy testing zones. All these zones will have their own features and bosses based on previous hints from the developers. Through numerous experiments with some of his modified toys, I believe we'll create a new hand that can fend off these hostile toys he's making, and I think they'll operate much like the Butcher Gang in Bendy and the Ink Machine. This means this chapter will be action-oriented and will involve solving puzzles on the fly, as we did with Miss Delight, but we'll actually be able to fight back after going through all these areas. I believe we'll face either the main antagonist or Kissy Missy herself, and ultimately we'll have to kill both so that Poppy and I can live after all this.